Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Going Bowling. I am your host, Jace LeJeune, alongside as always, Marcus Randall,
up,
one and only. What's going on, Marcus?
Not much, man. Another week, another chance to come here and talk about some good players that we're going to see at the end of the year.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm getting a lot more phone calls, Marcus. It's like, hey, our season's over. Like, do you still have some spots left for the bowl games? Like, yeah, jump on it. Because I know at this time, Marcus, either your season has ended, or you're looking at the playoffs knowing that win or go home.
Correct.
So it might be your next week could be your last week. So a lot of these players are kind of thinking about what's ahead, and they're kind of looking at a game like the Gridiron Bowl game.
Yep. So when we come to this point, pretty much every year is when we start getting a lot of them rolling in. It's just been crazy year that we've had so many people already. You solidify their spot in the bowl game, and I know it's going to be a lot more coming in. Like you just said, at the end of the year, people started thinking now. A lot of people stay locked in and trying to finish the season and get through what they have going on. But then when it start getting close to the end, or when it get to the end, now you start to seeing a lot of people start to see. All right, so what's next? I may have not shown as much as I need to show. I may need to show a little bit more. I just want to have one more game before college.
Sure.
And this that time.
Absolutely, and we definitely ramped up the number of names that we talked about on the show, just because we got a lot of players that will be playing in this bowl game. So we're going to talk about 10 new commits for our Going Bowling show today, and obviously the highlights will be playing in the background as we go through each and every one of these guys. Marcus, you're a former quarterback, so guess where we're starting off today? At quarterback. We got every week we've got to talk about at least one quarterback. We talked about Jack Landry from Erath last week.
Right.
Today we're going to talk about Haven Keller. He's a quarterback from Patterson High School. A good-sized kid, about 6'1", 185 pounds, 190 pounds, 3.7 GPA. If you're a quarterback, you definitely got to be really smart. You got to have all the intangibles, right? 3-year starting quarterback for the Patterson Lumberjacks and a dual threat quarterback. Marcus, we actually have had some Patterson quarterbacks over the last couple of years, and this is another guy that's a dual threat quarterback and beat you with his arm and with his legs, and another guy that's going to put some stress on those defenses for the bowl game this year. And
we've had our share of seeing some talented quarterbacks come to this game, and this is another one of those guys that could do it with his legs, that could do it with his arm, and he's had, like you say, he's a 3-year starter, so he's an experienced guy and a guy that's looking to take his talents to the next level.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to talk about the guy at quarterback under center to the guy that the quarterback hands the ball off, the running backs. So we got some pretty good running backs as well. Actually, a former teammate of yours, Dorsett Buckles, is doing his thing over at Hammond High School. And, being a hard-nosed former fullback, right? Linebacker, like he was. He's definitely a hard-nosed player. He's going to run the football.
Correct.
And he's got a really good player in Zaylin Bennett. He's a running back for Hammond, 6 foot, 185 pounds, was all district last year, and back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He's definitely the bell cow in the Tornadoes offense, a 3.8 GPA, and another guy that's trying to pick up some offers and some steam, and this bowl game could be a great opportunity for a guy like that.
Right, man, it's going to be good, and Hammond right now is 7-3 going into the playoffs,
yep.
So it's going to be and a lot of that success has come on, riding his back and him being able to tote the pill the way he's been able to tote it. So, man, I'm looking forward to being able to see him. I haven't gotten a chance to see him in person, but all of the film and everything that I saw, he is one of those guys.
Yeah, one of the best running backs in the area. Really underrated running back. Saw him in the spring, and I was really impressed with Zaylin Bennett. I knew he was going to have a big year this year, and he has. We're going to talk about a guy that's done a little bit of everything up there at Arcadia, up there in North Louisiana. Right. So we're pretty much up there, pretty much close to that Arkansas border there. But 6'2", 200 pounds. We saw him play at our bowl game and really impressed. Just chiseled, just a guy that just looks the part. And when you're a guy like that playing a 1A team, you do a lot of everything, right? So he's played wide receiver, he's played H-back, he's played defensive end, kickoff returner, fullback. Right. He's done everything for this team. We're going to try to see what he does at wide receiver. I think that's a position we kind of sold for him, 3.4 GPA. But this is a guy, 1A football, you kind of have to do a little bit of everything, and clearly he has.
And if you're going to be one of those guys that's playing in the 1A and you're talking about going to the next level, you pretty much have to show that you are like that dominance in 1A. Because most of the time you should be like the best player that's on the field, and that's what he's showing, and that's what his coaches is allowing him to show. So that's a big thing for him, and we're going to be glad to have him out here catching balls for us in the bowl game.
Yeah. Good luck trying to tackle him, 6'2", 220
like Terrell
pounds.
Owens out there.
Yeah, right,
One of those
right.
Wide out there. Once he get it in his hand, it's going to be hard to tackle.
Well, another guy's going to be pretty hard to tackle too, Marcus. It's the tight end. So we're going to get the tight ends involved in offense at 2. And it's Jalen Thomas. He's about 6'3", 225 pounds, big tight end. And McKeon Lemoyne, the running back for Elton, actually leads the state of Louisiana in rushing. So shows he's a good blocker because he's involved with setting those holes for McKeon Lemoyne. 3.3 GPA, and he's done it on both sides of the football. He was first team all-district and all-parish as a defensive end, second team all-district tight end, and was a Gridiron football top camp performer earlier this year at the Lamar Dixon camp that you were a part of. So a guy that's a physical football player, big, kind of like Colin, definitely looks the part, and he's a physical player. Looking forward to see what he brings to the table at the bowl game.
And we start talking about the tight ends. A lot of people, they forget about the tight end in the game with all this spread going on. But when you have a talented tight end that you could use to be able to block and to be able to use in the passing game, that make your offense very, very much lethal.
Absolutely, especially the big guys up front on the offensive line, where we talked about the tight end position, right? We're going to talk about the offensive line. Another guy has been to our camp this year over the offseason, over the summer, and it's Grayson Gorham. He plays for Minden High School up there in Minden, Louisiana. 6'2", 290 pounds, big boy. Second team all-district, 3.9 GPA. Plays left tackle for the team, probably more of a guard or an interior offensive lineman. Was a Gridiron football, another top camp performer at our Shreveport camp, and was actually been to our camp the last couple of years, so we've seen him in person, and now he's going to bring some good dimension there as a big physical lineman that can really help in the running game.
That can help, man. And when you start talking about a guy like you just said, that he's probably a guard, but when you have to put your best player at that left tackle, and that's what they're doing with him, and he's shown that he could be versatile across the line there, but more of a guard, and he's one of those heavy run blockers.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's set the path, right? But we got some big guys that are blocking in this football game, Marcus. But you got some big guys that are going to stop the run too. So good luck.
Both sides.
Jordan Holmes is the next guy we're talking about, Marcus, for Carroll High School up there in Monroe, Louisiana. Another North Louisiana guy. I mean, they got some big dudes up there in North Louisiana. Trust me, Marcus.
They always do.
They really do.
They
really do. 6'2", 280. So he's a defensive tackle. A very productive player over his whole career. A 2-time all-district selection. Was all-state, so an all-state selection playing in the bowl game. 3.8 GPA. So he's showing that he's getting the job done in the classroom, on the field, and he's going to be a guy that's going to be stuffing the run in the bowl game.
That is, and I know we got rules in this bowl game, certain defenses that you could play and can't play, but when you have a guy like this, man, he can also play in the 3-man front. He can play in the 4-man front. When you start talking about using those 4 eyes, if you're talking about 3-man, or that shaded nose all the way to the 3-tech. So I mean, man, you talking about a guy that can go make plays and that can fit in anybody's scheme. So I'm looking to see him play in the bowl game, but then I'm looking also to see where he land at as far as the next level.
And Andy loves his defensive linemen, and that's always been for whatever reason, that's always been a position of strength for the bowl game the last couple of years, and got himself a good one up there in the interior of the defensive line up there at Carroll High School. We talked about Zaylin Bennett from Hammond, another one of Coach Buckle's guys we're going to talk about today on the show. Treon Weiss, he's actually participated in our camps before, and that's a big part of it. If you ball out at the camp and you perform really well at the camp, you get an opportunity to showcase your talents at the bowl game. But this is an interesting player to almost see where he fits, but is a linebacker for Hammond, but he actually moved from running back to linebacker because of a guy like Zaylin Bennett we talked about. But he ran a 4.52 40 at the camp. A little bit undersized linebacker, but obviously he's got the sideline speed to make up for it. But 3.0 GPA, and an interesting guy. We can kind of move around a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're going to look at this guy. I see him more more as a nickel player.
Yeah, sure.
You know, one of those bigger guys that can cover, that can run,
right,
but also big enough and physical enough to be a second edge player out there and be able to play those bubbles and stuff like that. So I think that's going to be that's going to be his position moving forward. Like I said, I don't see it being a linebacker.
Right.
But he also could play over the top when you start talking about his range and being able to get from sideline to sideline speed-wise. But I see him more of a nickel.
Sure.
And I think that's what we'll use him at during this game. I mean, obviously, it'll be up to the defensive coordinator.
Right, for the team that drafts him.
But that's what I see. Right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think I fits him more as well. I do agree with you, Marcus. And then Gerald Watson, another player we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk to we give a shout out to Miss Naomi Abear. I think she's a huge fan of Gridiron football. Every time I do the Friday night show, she's always commenting about what Gerald did that night, and it makes sense. I mean, it's plenty to brag about Marcus because he's definitely a big time player, first team all district. You know, a little small, 5'10", 150 pounds, but when you run a 4.47 40, you can make it up pretty quickly.
Right.
And he can that flat out run, very fast guy. He plays a versatile guy for Jennings, and Jennings is a program that is a proud program. We had a couple players play in the bowl game, but he's played safety on defense where he's made all district. But he's also when you get him the ball at running back or wide receiver, he can make things happen. But like I mentioned, he ran a 4.47 at the LCU camp earlier this year, and just a guy that can play both ways for you, and then maybe put him in the punt return game, kick return game, and see what he does. Because when you have 4.4 speed, see what happens.
Remind me of one of those guys I played with back in college, Benny Brazil. Not the biggest,
right?
But if you give it to him in space, you're not catching him. And so you know he's a speedster. So I'm very. I don't know. Is he playing offense or is he going to play defense?
Yeah, I think he signed up. His first position he put was safety. But hey, I mean, depending on what the coach wants and how that conversation goes, maybe you sprinkle him in a little bit.
You might be able to give it to him. I know we had some players in the past that was able to get a little bit of both. So he seemed like he'll be one of those guys, man. Speed kill. So if you got speed, man, we could find a way to get you involved.
Right. You know, like I said, maybe punt return game, kick return. That could be maybe an option as well. Another guy, you kind of have to find a role for him as well, because I actually talked to his mom and said, it doesn't matter, Jace, where you put him. He can play anything for you. And I pretty much agree with it. Tyler Metrogene from Port Barry High School. Another guy who's played in our camps this year at went to the LCU camp. He plays quarterback for the team for Port Barry, but he's just an athlete. He's played wide receiver as well. It ran a 4.5 40 at our camp at LCU. 6 foot, 155 pounds, 3.2 GPA. Show you how athletic he is. He also made first team and second team the last 2 years all district punter. So he can punt as well. He's played quarterback for the team, wide receiver for the team, safety for the team. So he does a little bit of everything. I think we want to try to see what he can do at wide receiver, but we've seen it in the bowl game before that if there's an injury or something happens, he could step up at quarterback because he's played quarterback for his team.
And like you said, man, smiling because I can remember when we had to do it.
Neville. Yep.
He came in, we brought him in, he played quarterback all year, but then he was able to come in, play in a position where he was going to college in, but in the midst of a game, big game, had to come in and make the winning. So
was MVP of the game.
Yeah, was MVP of the game. So man, we got a guy like that, and I know that's what his coach is doing with him right now. They're just trying to get the ball in his hand to see if he can make a play, and that's what he's been doing, making plays.
Absolutely. I know that these are all Louisiana guys, but these are all guys that committed early on in the process and we're catching up, but we got a lot of players obviously from Texas and Florida and some of the other states as well. The last guy we're going to talk about today, Marcus, is Kendrick John Lewis. We'll give a shout out to your boy Coach Holden, Eric Holden.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one of his guys.
Iberia.
New Iberia. So Kendrick John Lewis, 1,000 yards rushing this year. It's an interesting story. I think he came into the season as more of a slot receiver, and out of necessity they put him at running back, and he's been balling out at running back, over 1,000 yards rushing this year. He went into our radar when he won our Gridiron Football Player of the Week. He was actually a Gridiron Football Player of the Week this year, and in the game, get this, Marcus, he had 450 total yards of offense, running and receiving, and 6 total touchdowns. and they lost the game. They lost the game to Barb, and it was a back and forth shootout. But he's really done a lot of things out of really unselfishness for him, and talking to his coach, like he's doing all this, and he's not really 100%. So when he's 100%, look out to see what he can do, and looking forward to see what he can do. He's a guy that's kind of a late bloomer type of guy that nobody really, has a big spotlight on, but he can have a chance to really do that at the bowl game this year.
Well, man, he's been carrying that team, and they don't have a lot of wins this year, but he's been a very, very bright spot over there for New Iberia. So, man, I'm looking forward to seeing him. Like you said, he was a late bloomer. Didn't really know much about him till this year, and then and obviously by Coach Holden, one of our coaches over there, being able to highlight him and being able to put something on it for us to watch, and like you say, he's been balling. He's been doing his part on the other side of it. And he's been a very, very bright spot for those guys.
Yeah, he has. He really has. And guys, if you're watching this, fans, if you're watching this, these are just 10 of the players that you'll be seeing in a Gridiron Football All-American Bowl game this year. This year it's going to be on December 30th at Louisiana Christian University. And I just got to say, Marcus, might as well get your tickets right now.
Get them now.
Because I talked to some parents, and they're saying, like, hey, we're bringing the whole family. We're bringing 15 people with us, 10 people with us. So I would recommend buy your tickets early in advance.
Get your tickets. Now, I know it might be, like a revolving door. Some people may be coming and going as the day going on.
Yeah.
But they only have that one side, that big one. So you want to get in there, get your tickets early. Come on, be a part of what's going on. And we look forward to seeing you December 30th.
And it's going to be a whole day. It's not. I mean, that's what's going. Really, 2 whole days. I mean, you got the junior high players playing on December 29th, so you can go and watch 2 great days of football. You're not doing anything in the Pineville, Alexandria area, right? I mean, junior high. I mean, a lot of the best talent Louisiana has to offer. Like the next guys are going to be to the track up.
I'm excited to see the junior high game.
Right.
The last 2 years, I know. And it haven't come full circle yet, but man, a lot of those guys that have been playing in those games, and it's almost here.
Yeah, next year will be the first year.
Will be the first year. But man, we have a lot of those guys that actually played in the first game and all these games that you've been able to watch, and you've been seeing their careers throughout their high school, and they've been killing it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about next year, and then the senior game.
Next one's up.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the senior game. We talked about a lot on the show. I think what I'm most excited about is the format this year of having 2 different games, and having a championship type of game this year is going to be really fun to watch as well. Marcus, any final thoughts before we wrap up the show today?
Man, no. I'm waiting to see this week how it's going to play off. Man, all the brackets didn't drop playoffs.
I got to do another show in a minute.
It's got it cold outside. I guess they know it's playoff times too. So, man, we love it around this time. We know this championship football season. Yep. And bowl game season. Man, I'm excited to see how the rest of the year play out.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, Marcus, we're actually going to have another show. It's a Bowling in the Boot. Myself and Spencer Verrett from the LHSA Network, we're actually going to preview all the playoff brackets. So if you're watching this, make sure to go catch that show as well. A couple of final things as well. Andy, give an Andy update. I know he's doing really good right now. You just talked to him over the phone before we started the show, and he's doing well, recovering, and he's already talking about maybe he's told myself, he's told Richard this, that he's hoping to get back by December 1st, full speed with us, and we're both, me and Richard and you, Marcus, are really hoping to get him back by that day. I know that for sure.
I know he's ready.
Absolutely. Want to give a shout out to Richard. He's our producer today, so awesome job behind the camera. Richard's doing everything.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. So guys, thank y'all so much for watching. Next week we'll have another 10 more players to announce for myself, and Marcus will also break those players down as well. But for Marcus Randall, I'm Jace LeJeune. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Going Bowling. We'll see y'all next week on another episode.